So Donald Trump in a lot of trouble over Trump University, as well he should be. I want to give you all the sleazy details here of what kind of a scam he ran. First of all, Huffington Post explains documents unsealed by a federal judge earlier this week pertaining to a lawsuit against the venture revealed how its salespeople were told to deliberately mislead potential customers, manipulate their emotions, and ignore their concerns about parting ways with, in some cases, tens of thousands of dollars. Now, the Attorney General for New York, Eric Schneiderman, went on television to talk about how this was a clear violation of the laws of New York. Watch.
Which specific laws did he break?
In New York, we have laws against business fraud. We have laws against consumer fraud. We have a law against running an illegal, unlicensed university. This never was a university. The fraud started with the name of the organization. And you can't just go around saying, this is the George Stephanopoulos law firm, hospital, university, without actually qualifying and registering. So it was really a fraud from beginning to end.
And that's why he's not allowed to use the word university anymore, and he took the name university off, because it is illegal to call yourself a university when you are clearly not one. Schneiderman has more here.
What is the specific crime as you see it?
It's fraud. This is a straight up fraud. It's like selling people something you say is a Mercedes and it turns out to be a Volkswagen. And even if some people say, well, I actually kind of like the Volkswagen, it's still fraud because it's not a Mercedes. This was not a university. Trump's role was really as the pitchman. And we've got his videotapes and we've got his sworn testimony, which undercuts every statement in the videotapes. He said, my handpicked experts will teach you my personal secrets. He and the president of the university have already testified under oath. He never met the instructors. They weren't handpicked. They weren't experts. Some of them came out of fast food and retail. And he had nothing to do with the secrets, supposed secrets that we're talking, because he had nothing to do with the curriculum.
It's supposed to be about real estate, and he's picking guys from McDonald's and going, yeah, go ahead. Instruct away. He didn't even pick them. Somebody else picked them. And he says, well, I mean, was I really involved? Well, BuzzFeed found a couple of old ads for Trump University. Yeah, it appears he's a little involved. Let's show you. I mean, this is such a classic snake oil salesman job. Here in this newspaper ad, says, investors nationwide are making millions in foreclosures, and so can you. He's got a big fat picture of Donald Trump on it. Such an obvious scam. Okay, I'm going to get back to how this affects his wealth in a second. Here's a second ad from the papers back then. Are you my next apprentice? Come prove it to me. Okay, so give him tens of thousands of dollars, and he'll show up and give one speech. Okay, and as we have further explanation here of what exactly happened, they say in New York Magazine, contrary to its promises that Trump himself would be actively involved in the students' education and would, quote, handpick the instructors, he had no involvement in either. And now when you get into the details, it's really where it gets sick. The business preyed upon the elderly and the uneducated, one former employee testified, and encourages customers to max out their credit cards. Instructors at the so-called university were coached to solicit financial information from the students, ostensibly to guide their investment strategy, but in reality to help Trump University figure out how much they could be bilked for. Oh, that's grotesque. So this leads to a couple of conclusions. Number one, this guy ain't a billionaire. There's no billionaire out there trying to figure out how to run basically a scam on you where you max out your credit card. There's no, Bill Gates isn't like, all right, how do I set up Gates University, where I'll trick people and I'll say, you can learn computer programming, but I won't teach them computer programming. Instead, I'll max out their credit cards and I'll create kind of a cult atmosphere and I'll do, high-powered sales pitches to these guys and get all their money. No, he doesn't have to do that. You know why? He's a billionaire. Donald Trump is trying to nickel and dime people because he ain't that rich. This is how he makes his money. As an actual businessman, he's a miserable failure. His 4 businesses have gone bankrupt. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 businesses bankrupt. He doesn't know how to run a business. He only knows how to run a scam. So going back to a scam, one of the women who attended, Corinne Summer, explains that the instructors weren't really instructors. They weren't there to teach. They were, quote, instead skilled at high-pressure sales. So they lure you in, and they're like, oh, okay. Oh, how much money do you have on your credit card? Oh, yeah, that'll help me help you. $12,000? What a coincidence. This course costs $12,000. Great, max out your credit card. Give it to me. And then Donald Trump is like, yeah, I made $12,000. And now she'll be buried in debt. She won't be able to start her own business. God knows what's going to happen with her retirement. But Donald Trump made this much more money. Shameless, fraud, and not at all the incredible billionaire he claims to be. Man, if this guy actually has $10 billion like he says, and he's still running scams like this, he's the sickest man in America. Okay. One of the charts, and they have all this evidence in the case. It's not people's opinions. They have the internal documents. A chart outlines the stages of the, quote, roller coaster of emotions that a buyer will experience. The blast phase, it explains, is giving your clients hope again. They're peddling hope, and then they steal that hope from you and put in all of your money, and sometimes money you don't have, but you got from your credit cards, into their pockets. And they know they're preying upon your roller coaster of emotions. These are sick people. That's who Donald Trump is. And that's exactly what he's doing right now to scam you, not out of your money, but out of your vote. He thinks, the poor, the uneducated, it's perfect for me. Now, Hillary Clinton finally jumped in here, and I actually think this gave me a little bit of hope that she might run a tough campaign. Because, look, if you got a tough candidate, they will shred Trump on this, because he ought to be shredded on this. Well, she put out a statement saying Trump and his employees took advantage of vulnerable Americans, encouraged them to max out their credit cards, empty their retirement savings, destroy their financial futures, all while making promises they knew were false from the beginning. This is just more evidence that Donald Trump himself is a fraud. He's trying to scam America the way he scammed all those people at Trump U. So, okay, you know what? That'll make me move the odds. I was worried that Hillary Clinton was not fighting back aggressively against Donald Trump. Well, she seems to be fighting back aggressively. And sometimes you'll see stories in the media. That's because Clinton's team, and yes, believe me, the Republicans do likewise. The only guy who doesn't do it is Bernie Sanders. And I don't say that as a compliment. I think he should have done this, but oftentimes did not, is that they will, on one side, will find out all these facts and then feed it to the media, right? So here we go. Now we're finally playing hardball. And you know what? This guy's not good at hitting the hardball. So, Donald Trump is in a world of trouble here. When people find out how badly he took advantage of people with no shame whatsoever, I know people think, oh, no, that won't affect him. No, this stuff affects him. You do an ad like Obama did against Romney with the builders who built the stage where they got fired from, and they said, we felt like we built our own coffin. You find the people who got bilked by Trump University and have them do the ads, and that is a tough thing to recover from. So I actually now believe that Hillary Clinton, now that she's being far more aggressive with Trump, does stand a better chance of winning, a better chance than Donald Trump does. So finally, I want to end on a tweet, a wonderful, bitter tweet from Trump here at the end once all this stuff is exposed. He says, after the litigation is disposed of and the case won, I have instructed my executives to open Trump U. So much interest in it, I will be president. He means president of the university. Well, that might be the only thing you're president of. Good luck with that.